A new exhibition depicts the lives of 135 Holocaust survivors in Israel 2014, where many live in poverty and alone. Their calling reflects the incompetence of the Israeli government with respecting their final years. i24 News correspondent Shachar Peled heard their cry for help.
As the remaining Holocaust survivors in Israel gradually diminish, it seems all is left to do is document those who are still with us.
About 8 months ago, we decided to do something different, to bring the anger and the strength of the Holocaust survivors through photographies.
In Survivors 2014, photographers give a visual statement of the survivors' presence and reflect a common fate and a solidarity with them.
We had some conversation when we talked a little about her history, and after that, when we started shooting photos, I asked her just to stand next to the table and lean on her hands and simulating like she's in front of a crowd of people and talking to them, and she's having something really important to tell them.
As she does every year, 95-year-old Betty Bausch will be flying this week to the Netherlands to give lectures to youth and adults about the Holocaust. As she sees it, her mission of passing on the stories and the horrors is unstoppable.
When you survive, you must make something of your life. You have really to do whatever is possible, also to talk to younger people so that they will have a better life also.
The exhibition opening this week in Jaffa, Israel, is one more attempt to portray the lives of those who are considered the essence and foundation on which the country was built. Today, less than 190,000 Holocaust survivors live in Israel, and the day-to-day lives of many of them are still accompanied by pain and hardship. Around 50,000 live below the poverty line, and 36% live alone and are forced to take care of themselves. Mona Nir Gilad, who is second generation to the Holocaust, chose together with the exhibition organizers to add survivors' quotes to the picture. Most of their words reflect grave frustration. Every penny the country takes from us is shameful. Can you look us in the eye and say you did everything possible? They cry. Some of those fortunate to have families are depicted here by their relatives as they try to live their remaining years with dignity. Most of them believe the world hasn't done enough to take care of them.
They start now, but it's so late. They start now to work on it. And there are still not as so many who already died and who had a terrible life and really needed help.
Unlike Betty, many survivors have kept silent all these years.
These are strong people, these are proud people, these are the people who built this country, and the country was built on their money. Now, when they're 80 and 90 years old, yes, they deserve more.
As Never Forget campaigns are going viral on Twitter and Facebook, and documentation of the survivors is reaching the entire world online, the visual reminder of what had happened to humanity during those years will soon be all that remains in order to remember, beyond time and generations, and never forget.
And just for that, we brought you here our own Shachar Peled. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Good evening, Lucy.
How come the country forgot them so fast?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that the fact that soon there won't be any first-hand witnesses, and all that will remain will be through ceremonies and culture. So they feel that the country is forgetting them now, and we must protest against this. But we have to remember also that what they leave behind as these documentations is something that will remain for further future generations. And we see attempts alongside the formal ceremonies and the alternative ceremonies, which have become this sort of establishment as well, more and more artists and creators trying to provide an alternative way to look at this documentation. It's still with criticism. We have, for example, the social media campaign of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, calling the younger generation to take a selfie with a Holocaust survivor. People felt uncomfortable with that. But there are attempts, sort of more cultural attempts, like the Israeli.
I have to say that this is amazing.
Yes.
What you brought here, because this is let's say not selfie.
Yes, absolutely. But there are attempts, for example, the Israeli Puppet Theatre that has debuted a new play, a puppet play for adults based on a memoir of a Holocaust survivor. There's an exhibition in Tel Aviv about the Eichmann trial. Someone reconstructed, a survivor reconstructed the cell glass where the glass cell where Eichmann sat during his trial. And there's a fringe theatre with an amazing story based on a true female, a lesbian love affair between a Nazi officer and a Jewish prisoner. So amazing stories, and the restrained version of the Holocaust Remembrance Day turns into new forms, and not only the ceremonies and the services.
Like it should. Shachar Peled, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For the